The Greek mathematician Archimedes said, "Give me a place to stand and a lever long enough, and I will move the world." Today, here in this place, with 500 of our fellow citizens, several of our elected officials, we have come to say, enough is enough. We have a place to stand right here, right now. There is one group that we need to move, however, but our lever is not yet long enough. They too have a real stake in the issue of gun violence, and yet they have been completely unengaged. I am speaking of the 117 gun manufacturers in the United States of America, including the 8 to 10 here in Illinois. We need to get them to become part of the solution rather than continue to be part of the problem. To do that, we need more leverage. Where are we going to get more leverage? Well, we taxpayers, through our police in Chicago and Evanston and Park Ridge and Oak Park and every community that's represented here today, and our Illinois National Guard and our state police and our private security companies, and yes, the United States military, are the single biggest buyers of guns in the world. We have to begin to use that leverage. And we are going to, in a few minutes, ask our politicians, so start thinking about this. Start thinking. Quit talking, start thinking. We're going to ask you to help set up some meetings with potential allies for us. We've got some ideas, but we need to do more, and we need you to open some doors and maybe even to come with us on some of those meetings. When we meet with these gun manufacturers, we're going to discover that some of them don't care about the violence their products are causing. But we will also find some that are as concerned with what is happening with their guns as we are. If we don't meet with them using our leverage, we'll never know what they may be willing and able to do to help us curb gun violence in our streets, and our schools, and our other public places. So here's what we're going to ask them to do. Please refer in your agendas to the Help Us Curb Gun Violence Pledge, which is also up here. These 5 points are simply a starting place for the conversation with the gun manufacturers. We have to find out who they are and what they say. But when we meet with them, we will ask them to make a simple pledge. One, that their company will do whatever possible to help curb gun violence, including supporting community-based efforts. Number 2, that their company will cooperate with authorities in any way possible in preventing guns from getting into the hands of criminals, crime gun stores and sellers, and people with a history of domestic violence, substance abuse, or mental illness. Third, that their company will develop and share with law enforcement new ways of tracking weapons and ammunition that is used in crimes. 4, that their company will work to make guns as safe and as appropriate for their intended use as possible. And finally, that their company will help rein in the pro-gun groups that they support financially from excessive opposition to reasonable efforts to curb gun violence. Now I'm going to ask you, can the gun manufacturers do these things if they wanted to? Yes. Would it help if they did do these things? Yes. Are we willing to use our leverage to do so? Yes. Are we? If you're ready, stand up. You're willing to use your leverage. All right, sit down again. Because we have something to do first. We must increase our leverage. We have some, we need more. We are proposing over the next 60 days that we will meet with at least 30 potential allies, politicians. We have some of the best ones here today because they're here. And they're going to turn us on to other potential allies that we need to meet with. And we're going to ask you in about 10 minutes who they are. So start thinking. The media, some of whom are here today on a Sunday afternoon. That's good. How about some of our corporate leaders, the chambers and other people? They've got a stake in this. Let's meet with them. Unions, anti-gun violence groups, rational pro-gun groups, religious leaders, other community organizations here and through the Industrial Areas Foundation Network that we're going to hear about in a couple of minutes. Anyone we can think of who might be a possible ally with us on this issue. We will discuss how together we might use our joint leverage to get meetings with the gun manufacturers and try to get them to help us curb the carnage that is destroying Chicago and making it a terrifying proposition for a first grader to walk across the street to go to school. This is not going to be an issue we can get in and out of easily. It will take commitment from United Power and from our member institutions. So we got to get serious today, here, now. And there's three things we need from you. First, if you really believe enough is enough and are willing to go on some of these 30 meetings in 60 days, sign up on one of these things. A bunch of people on the way out. You will not be able to get out without passing somebody. But if you want to work on it, sign up so we know who you are, and then show up on our next meeting on April 4th, which is in your agenda at Ascension Lutheran Church. And then on the screen, here's 10 groups that we have thought of that we want to go after. And our politicians today are going to think of some other people or some specific people that we should be meeting with. And then on May 19th, come back here at 2 o'clock, Sunday afternoon, and we'll report back to you what we learned in those 30 meetings. Will you do that? Yes. All right. We want you to go back to your key institutions, recruit people and money specifically for this campaign. If you are not yet a member of United Power, or your group is not yet a member, get them to join. We have 3 groups here today who are actively considering membership in United Power: the Illinois Education Association, Adjunct Faculty Association, Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church, and Congregation Bakavana. Did I get that right? Let's welcome them right now. And finally, if you are serious about curbing gun violence, think about joining me, my wife, and others, and this is what's going to happen to you if you go long. Now you can sit down. All right. Join us. Look, we're up against a lot of money. If you don't think we're up against a lot of money, then you're being naive. So United Power is going to have to raise money as well as people. So if you can afford it, put some money in this envelope, mail it to us, hand it in today, mark it for the gun violence issue. Friends of United Power, your support will give us the resources we need to stay in this fight for a long time. Thank you.